Hello everyone, I'm Porrick Fye. I'm a design engineer here in Combilift.
Hello, I'm Martin Traynor, the engineering manager here in Combilift.
Hello, I'm David Hatchett. I'm control systems engineer here in Combilift.
Hello, I'm Emma Moran and I work at the HR department here in Combilift.
And good morning to everybody. Anthony here from DQIT's Careers and Employability Centre, and the guys have already introduced themselves. And Combilift is a company and an organisation that certainly does not need any introduction to anybody here at DQIT. Guys, we're absolutely delighted that you join us here this morning for our 11:30 session as part of our Engineering Virtual Career Series. People may be wondering why you're all wearing different jerseys, and that's not official Combilift uniform, but the guys are actually participating in the Gold Jersey Day, which sees communities across Ireland coming together and wearing their favourite jerseys to support Gold's work with vulnerable communities. And I know that's a huge part of Combilift's what they do with the local community. CSO is usually important to Combilift as an organisation. So as I said, we're delighted to see you supporting that really great cause, and we're delighted to have you here with us this morning. So I'm just going to explode this presentation up, and the guys have a couple of videos to go through, and we're all excited to hear what you have to say and to learn about the graduate opportunities. So thanks so much again, guys, and we look forward to your presentation.
Yeah.
Hi, so again, welcome to the presentation for the Careers Day from Combilift. Just give you a bit of a brief background into Combilift as a company. I'll do that myself, and then Porrick Fye, who's a graduate from Dundalk, will give you just a run through on some of the projects that he's been working on and some of the different things that he has done. David Hatchett from our control systems will talk you through some of the more electrical and electronic sides of the business and what they get up to in a general day and what's on the machines. And we'll have Emma then, who's our HR, and she'll take you through some of the opportunities that are within Combilift. So Combilift as a business is a privately owned business. It's by two directors, Martin McVicker and Robert Moffat. It was started in 1998 from memory, so it's on the go about 23 years roughly. I originally started off as in the very same place, same factory that the Moffat Mountie business started on, which Robert previously owned, and then we moved into a second premise, outgrew that premises after a number of years, moved into a second premises, and now outgrown that, and now we're into our third premises here in Monaghan, just outside Monaghan. So we're a worldwide business. I say we started in 1988. The employees, saying 650 there, it's probably closer to a lot of growth in this last, especially this year. So we're probably up to about 800 employees on that. The turnover exporting to a large number of countries, so probably exporting to about 180, 190 countries, and 98% of what we manufacture here is exported. So unfortunately, Ireland only accounts for a small amount of business, so it's very much an international-based business. A huge investment into R&D, returned into the R&D, so there'll be about 7% of the turnover goes back into R&D because we're manufacturing such a large range of products, and always trying to update them and come up with new ideas. So maybe Anthony, if you want to show the video, the first video there.
Perfect.
In this program, we travel to Ireland for a look at a unique company with a revolutionary product. The company is called Combilift, and the product is this multi-directional forklift designed to handle long loads in confined areas.
It is a new concept in design and engineering, combining three machines in one, and it is all the brainchild of Martin McVicker and Robert Moffat, two of Ireland's up-and-coming entrepreneurs.
Okay, so sorry, probably a bit delayed coming back there. It is.
Yep.
So from that video, you'll be fit to see sort of some of the production process through the factory. So right from the weld, right through the paint, the assembly, and then the final testing on that of the products. So as I said earlier, we're exporting to over 85 markets, probably closer to 90 markets now around the world. So that's right from Russia to China to parts of Africa. So it really is a global business. But one other aspect of the business is just, which Combilift has been renowned for over the years, is the innovation within the business. From that, you can see some of the awards that we have won here. A lot of them awards have came from within the material handling industry, just for the innovation in the new products which we're fit to design and manufacture here in Ireland, export around the world. We manufacture a very big range of, it's not just forklifts, it's a complete material handling portfolio of products. So it's right from the very smallest machine, which is we pedestrian walk behind, which is designed for lifting 850 kilos, right up to the straddle carriers, which we manufacture here, which can handle 100 tons and over 100 tons also. If you want to run the second video.
No problem at all.
Anthony, maybe if you want to skip on ahead or stop that video. That's no problem.
No worries at all. Let's pop this presentation back up.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep it on time.
Yeah, no problem.
From that, you just see a comparison between one of our forklifts and a traditional forklift. So, and within the different industries, we try to offer something different, not a standard forklift that all other competitors are offering. We try to do something different, something innovative. But also from our point of view, we don't just want to be, we're not about selling a forklift. It's really about a complete package. So we want to be a complete solutions provider. So from that point, we have a department within the factory here that can take plans of anybody's factory and will show them by using a Combilift what advantages we can bring to the business. So although Combilift may be more expensive than a traditional forklift, if we are fit to store more product in the same area, so it may avoid a company having to, say, perhaps build another warehouse or put an extension onto the warehouse. So if we can give a complete package and show them how we are fit to provide a better solution for them than a traditional forklift. No, we'll skip on. So I'll hand you over to Pádraig Fahey here now, and he's going to talk through some of the projects that he has worked on.
So so I graduated in DKIT back in 2018, and I started working here in Combilift and just straight away after. Worked on a few projects in that time, but this is just one that we've done in the last 12 months or so, so just put a few slides together. See on the left-hand side there, that's our standard 4-directional C3000 truck, so it's a 3-ton capacity 4-directional machine. We had a customer that actually had a couple of these trucks, but they wanted the same thing, only they wanted a side loader style truck, so they wanted the same sort of specification, but they just wanted a machine with a side loading cab. So you see on the right hand side is a layout drawing that we prepared for that machine. So during the layout sort of part of the process, we just we do a 2D drawing, and it's just much quicker than going into like a detailed design. So we can do a 2D drawing and go to the customer and say, is this sort of what you're thinking? And we can change some of the dimensions and change some of the specs until it's something that we're all happy with. So let's just see in the next slide. So when we get something we're happy with, then we go into the detailed design stage. So that was the drew up using SolidWorks. So we're able to put everything together and just see everything in 3D, how it's all going to fit together, how it's all going to work. We try and use the standard parts as much as we can. So the actual running gear, the engine, all the hydraulic components, the mast, everything like that is the same as a standard C3000. The only real difference is the cab and the panels. So that machine to service and work on is much the same as our standard C3000 truck. So we'll go on to the next slide. Take a look. So as part of the engineering process, as a design engineer, we follow the project right through from welding right through to manufacture on the line here. You can see on the left-hand side there, the machine just as the chassis was welded, and we fitted the cab on at that stage just to make sure everything was going to be okay, because it was an R&D project. You can see on the right-hand picture there, we have the machine actually on the line in production. So I would have followed that machine right through from weld through to production. And then just in here, just the last slide, just on that project. So that's the machine actually that was built as it was complete. So you see the photo on the left-hand side there, the machine with a 3-ton weight on, so it would actually test the machine just maximum capacity, just to make sure everything was going to be okay. Every machine that leaves here does get a rigorous test before it leaves. And then we have a couple of photos there on the right-hand side of the finished truck with the decals and all on, ready for the container. So I'm going to hand it over to David Hatchett here, one of our control systems engineers, and he's going to talk through a few slides on that.
Right, thanks, Boy. So on the control system side, as Martin was saying, we offer a complete package. So we would build in safety and hardware into the truck to control and any functions that the truck would have, or any driver aids. Slide there. So based on that, then we would have all our components on our truck, and then to have all them components, we'd have a nervous system. So that'd be our CAN bus, to communicate with each component, so that every component can talk to each other and find out what unit or what motor was at, what part, what temperatures. Relay that all to the operator. Then what we do is we liaise with the electrical department and create a loom based on the outputs and the inputs from them components that we're putting onto the truck based on the functionality of the truck. Okay. So it's not just all hardware in the control systems department. We have software as well. So we have many software that we use to code and build in functionality in the truck. And then, just go back there, sorry, one. So then what we do is that functionality, then we can build in adjustments, parameters, settings that the operator or the dealer can control speeds. So that'll be another user interface that we build into the truck. We go on again. Sorry. And then what we do, we also use software for troubleshooting. So as we see in the slide there, that's a CAN bus software that we can see that messages have been sent out, messages being received. so software to be used for troubleshooting our trucks as well as coding. Go on to the next slide. So your career opportunities here would be to use this software to do advanced troubleshooting, like the oscilloscope, using the oscilloscope software, using the CAN bus software, as I said in the last slide. So that's why we need students to come on board. Yeah, so we're going to skip that video. And this is another type of software that we use, function block software. So you're building blocks of code to build in functions that the customer requires or comes to us at the start. Like Martin says, a complete package. Another example of software, this is the Danfoss software that we use in our bigger trucks, our straddle carriers, our mobile gantries. So again, it's function block software. You're building blocks of code to create functionality within the truck. This here then is the complex automation. This is why we need students into Combilift to work with the sensors, the scanners, the interfaces, the different complex scenarios that customers are giving us every day. So this is why we need the likes of yourselves to come to Combilift. And that's video 5. So I'm just going to go through. This is the industry we work on. These are the customers that come to us with all sorts of functionality applications that we then, as Martin said at the start, come up with complex solutions to give to our customers. And our customers being, next slide, some of the global customers we have, GSK, Calvin Klein, Smith, we have Tyco, we have ABB, we have Henkel, and Caterpillar. So that's just a brief introduction of what we do here in the control systems. If you have any questions, you can give them at the end. I'll hand you over here to Emma from HR. Thank you.
So I'm going to talk about some of the career opportunities then that we have available in Combilift. So we do have placement opportunities and internship opportunities then in business, so in marketing, HR, supply chain, our operations, our after sales, distribution, and our accounts department. Also in our engineering, so mechanical, electronic, electrical, mechatronic, our control systems, and our software engineering. So we are accepting applicants from graduate opportunities for all disciplines, and for project work we start final year products, PhDs, ad hoc, and project work. So how to stand out from the crowd. So ensure your CV is up to date. Online personal profiles are updated, so your LinkedIn. No inappropriate content actions on online profiles, so your social media platforms. Ensure application is specific to the company and to the role that you're applying for. To follow the company developments. Detail relevant projects or experience. Engage with the company regarding projects during your studies. To have a good can-do attitude, to demonstrate how you have worked on your own initiative, the ability to multitask and to be flexible, your ability to think outside of the box, your willingness to learn and take on additional responsibility, open to criticism, and you're ambitious and career focused. And that's all we have. So if we'll open up for any questions that anyone has for us.
Yeah, listen, firstly, I suppose just to Martin Porrick, David and Emma yourself, just for a really, really great presentation. I think anybody who's studying engineering, if they're not excited by that, they'll never get excited by anything. So let me just put down this slide here so we can see you guys. I'm just going to explode you up. There you go. Perfect. Much better. So there are the jerseys. You probably don't want to go into describing who the teams are, but I have some questions here, and they're coming in from some of the classes. I know this is probably some of my academic colleagues who I'm sure you know well are posting these up. The first question is for Porrick, and Porrick, you graduated in 2018, I think you said, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
So, question here from a final year student in relation to what made you decide Combilift?
I actually started here back in 2016 during year 2 of my degree in college. I started here as placement.
Okay.
So I kind of just hung around since that. I was here during summers and holidays and stuff, and became part of the furniture. And then I just started here then as a design engineer when I graduated then in 2018. So back whenever I started first 2016, it would have been out on the floor and that, sort of getting to know the machines and
Okay.
components and how everything fits together, and then had a good insight into the company. Then finally started the design engineer role in 2018 then.
So Martin couldn't get rid of you. So the benefits then, so obviously a lot of students here be on placement, will be going placement this year and maybe looking for summer internship type opportunities, Emma, as you said. Again, from Port's perspective, how beneficial was it that you had that experience on the floor before you went into the actual design element of your current role?
Yeah, it was very good. Just you come into if you come straight into the office, maybe no experience at all, you wouldn't really know what you're designing. Whereas when you got sort of hands on with the machines, sort of knew kind of the idea of how they fitted together and how they operated, and sort of the advantages of a Combilift over a traditional forklift. So you really got to know the company sort of before you started trying to design something.
Brilliant. Okay, Martin, one coming in here for you now, and that is around. So I know that you probably at a senior level, you're probably involved in looking at applications, interviewing people, and maybe it's a question for Em as well. What makes a really good applicant or application, in your opinion?
There's probably a number of things that is very important to us. I think Emma touched on there. The can-do attitude is absolutely critical. Is probably the most important thing. Communications, that's verbal communication and even like written communication is really important. That if for an applicant, for somebody a graduate coming in, if you're trying to communicate them a project for them to work on, and for them to understand what the needs are, and if they don't understand that, they're fit to come back to you and tell you they don't understand. So communication is very important.
Okay, so
a good understanding of basic mechanics is crucial.
Brilliant. Now one for David as well. So you described sort of software and how you're using it and artificial intelligence, and that's obviously all sort of moving to a different level now, and I'm sure it's moving to a different level within the machinery that you're producing. Outside of typical engineering disciplines that you will recruit from DKIT all the time, is there opportunities for software developers within Combilift? Like, so I'm thinking of students from the computer stream potentially.
Yes. So typically when we started out, it was more mechanical, and as we go on and with regulations and all that, we've electrified our trucks, and now at the moment we're looking at software out there, and we're utilizing that software. But now in-house, what we're trying to do is build some of that software ourselves.
Okay.
So that's why we would look to DKIT and your students to look at bringing in students and getting them working on key projects and key software applications that we want to utilize in our trucks in the future.
Yeah, and I'm saying that's music to probably our computing year final students, because they all have significant final year projects to do. Combilift as a company, I think, would be a very, very supportive environment for them to complete that type of projects in. We are 1 minute away. Emma, question here in relation to assessments. So do you have an assessment like psychometric tests, or is it just your traditional CV, cover letter, and application form?
It's usually just a traditional. So your cover letter, if you send your cover letter and your CV, and then come in for an interview and meet with us, and then meet with the manager then of the department of the area that you have applied for.
Perfect.
If you are coming in for an interview, probably very important, any project work that you've done in college or that there, it's very important that you bring that. It gives us a real good understanding of an applicant.
Okay, and not to wear a jersey unless it's the 8th of October.
Unless it's Jersey Day.
Right, perfect. Brilliant. Okay. There was one other question then around. Students, maybe a potentially international student who hasn't got experience, maybe they joined us in year 3 or year 4, or whatever it might be, and they're finishing up their studies at DKIT, but they don't have any relevant experience. What advice would you have for somebody like that?
Yeah, look, I know it's hard for people that don't have any relevant experience, but like we have taken on graduates here in the past that didn't have any relevant experience. For anybody, always send in your CV. It's like a lot of the jobs that are here in Combilift may not be advertised. Like if we see the right graduate and we like what they are fit to do, we'll probably try and find a role for them rather than like we may not advertise all our roles. So definitely send in.
Brilliant. And on that, obviously, I've posted up the link to the careers website. Emma, I know you'll be putting up the opportunities on Careers Connect, and you always do as we go through the year. So students, please look out for them. Guys, an absolute pleasure. Well done on getting through the presentation. Emma, in particular, thanks for your support around getting all those videos done and sending them on to me. We really appreciate it. Final question from Kimmett, who's one of our academic colleagues here. And he said, from a portfolio perspective, Porrick, is it e-portfolio or a hard copy or both? What would you prefer?
I don't know. I always go into the hard copy.
Hard copy. Anybody else? Martin?
Either or.
Either or.
When you're coming into an interview, it's probably nice to have the portfolio in your hand that you can talk through it easier than and avoid any issues with not being fit a load and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and Kimmett agrees. So there you go. So unfortunately, you've probably given the students even more work to do now. They'll all be printing out hard copies of their portfolios. Guys, thanks so much again. We're just over 12 o'clock. Really appreciate it as ever. Thanks to Combilift for all the support to our students, not only this year, but all the previous years. And fingers crossed next year, we'll be inviting you on campus for our traditional careers fair, which I think we're all looking forward to once we can get past the next couple of months, you know.
Okay.
Take care. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.